Hey friends, this is Wendy with Love and Stampin'. Today we are going to be using some Honeybee Stamps products that I just got recently. This little tag die is the one we're actually going to end up using. I ended up not using the other two die sets. And we're using the Honeybee Let's Celebrate paper. I just love this paper. I think it's so pretty, bright, and fun. And the tag die I'm using, unfortunately, is not one that you can purchase. It was free with a $100 order. So I don't know if they're still available or not. But I was pretty excited about this because I definitely need to make some birthday tags. So I have a lot of birthdays coming up in May. I have 3 nieces with birthdays in the month of May. And then I have an aunt whose birthday is in May. So I knew I would need some tags. So I used this cute little mini messages birthday stamp set from Honeybee. And I'm going to grab my Misty and I'm going to stamp all 3 of these tags at one time. Now, I'm using a sticky mat here. If you don't have a sticky mat, I highly recommend grabbing some. They come in a pack of 3 and they're not very expensive. You can get them for the original size Misty or the mini Misty. And this allows me to stamp all 3 of these tags all at one time with no problem. Now, I want to just bring up a little subject that somebody brought up on a video of mine recently. They said you could just cut down a Cricut mat and it would work for this and it, quote, would save you money. I have to beg to differ. So cutting down a Cricut mat is not really money saving, in my opinion. Cricut mats are pretty expensive, as are silhouette mats. I don't see the financial value in that. Now, maybe if it was a really old mat and you weren't going to use it anymore for using with your machine, but then I'm not sure it would be sticky enough to use in this situation. So I just wasn't real sure about that. I can see the thought process behind it somewhat, but those big mats are pricey. So these come in a set of 3 and they're fairly inexpensive. I'll link to them below. And I would recommend grabbing some and using them for projects like this. So I have my magnetic bar on my sticky mat, and then my sticky mat is what's holding the tags in place when I do my stamping. So here I'm just going through and picking out all the messages and getting them organized onto each one of the die cuts the way I want them. And then after I do that, I will be able to go ahead and do my stamping. For the first tag, I just wanted a simple message up top. For the second tag in the middle, I decided I was going to place a whole bunch of sentiments, kind of like cattywampus and silly, so that it would just be like a cute background. And you could see there I brought in a brush and put it on my fingers. Well, 2 things. 1, I did that to help my fingers be less sticky. 2, I don't recommend that because it's going to make my brush oily. So do as I say, not as I do, I guess. I just was trying to get these organized and the photopolymer stamps kept sticking to my fingers. So I grabbed my little cottontail embossing powder from the Rabbit Hole Designs and I put some of the powder on my fingers to help my fingers be less sticky. And after I did it, I realized, ooh, I don't think I'm supposed to touch this brush because the oils from my fingers can clog up the mechanism for the powder. So, there's that. I've only ever done it one time, so hopefully it doesn't cause an issue. So here I'm inking up in Hero Arts Intensified Black ink, bringing down the sentiments and stamping them all at one time. The second wonderful thing about this situation is that I can go ahead and ink these right back up again, pull them back down, stamp them again, exactly in the same place with no flaws. So that is really the beauty of the Misty tool in and of itself, right? Is that we can stamp multiple times to get our images exactly how we want them without having any flaws or mistakes. And it's just really hard to do that without a stamp positioning tool. So after I get these stamped the third time, I'm going to do a little bit of decorating, but I kept these very simple. I really did not want to spend an enormous amount of time making these tags, and I'm going to tell you why. The people I'm giving these tags to are 110% going to throw them in the garbage. So, you know, I talk about this in videos, and I've said it before. I struggle doing anything really complex or elaborate for anybody that I know is just going to like immediately trash what I made. Now, let me say, I never expect anyone to keep a card I make forever. I just don't. I don't have that expectation. I think that's silly. I would never expect that of anybody. But we'll use my sister as an example. She will keep my cards for a season. So I know whatever I make my sister will eventually end up in the garbage, but at least she puts it up on a shelf and enjoys it for a period of time before she trashes it. I do have a friend who I recently did a course with. I created a course with. I'm pretty sure she keeps all my cards. In fact, I'm almost 100% sure. She gave me back recently one of the very first cards I ever made. And y'all, it was bad. It was bad. It was so bad. I shouldn't say that because when you're starting out, you just don't know. And honestly, like, card making is like anything else. The first time you try it, the first time you do it, it's probably not going to be hitting it out of the park the very first time you put ink to paper. It just takes time to learn and do new things and try new things and grow in your craft, and that's how it is. So, I thought while I'm assembling these tags, I'm used to making cards, and decorating them, that we would have just a little bit of story time and I would share some fun things with you. So first, before I even get into the story time, I want to just tell you my Mega Funfold class volume 2 is launching very soon. Very, very soon. So if you enjoyed Mega Funfold class volume 1, I'm going to recommend getting volume 2. The cards are a little bit more difficult. They're stepped up from volume 1. In volume 1, I tried to keep everything very simple and basic so that it would be a building path for volume 2. If you have not taken my Mega Funfold volume 1 course, I'm going to drop a link to it below this video so that you can purchase it. It is $45. There are 33 videos in the class, and we teach, I think it's 18 fun folds total. It's 15 fun folds, but some of them have a variation. So it is a fantastic course. It has been very well received. I've had tons of compliments on it. So if you want to take the volume 1 course, you could take that now. It's available now. And that will prep you really well for volume 2. So volume 2 is coming out this month. It will be available to purchase soon. I'm purposely not giving you a date because, life is life. And so I'm not quite ready to give a date yet, but it will be out before the end of the month and available to purchase. In fact, I'm probably going to do a pre-order on it. So watch out for that coming very soon, like an early bird special like I did for the last one. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. And it is full of awesome stuff. I have guest designers again, like I did for volume 1. And of course, I make all of the fun folds. There's a really cool resource binder add-on. So in the first volume 1 class, there's a resource binder we make, and this second class is going to have that same situation. So you can just add on to your very first class if you already took the first one. All right, so here, back to the tags, I decided to die cut multiples of these little scalloped borders, and I used the designer series paper, pattern paper from Honeybee Stamps to create this cool, I don't know, what did you call this? I don't know. I built it up on top of each other, layered scallop piece, and I thought it was really cute. So that is the 3 tags. And then we're going to add some ribbon, and then we're going to add some gems. And then these will be completely finished. So back to story time. What is happening? So to catch up on life in general, by the time you're watching this video, I should have gone to Cancun with my husband and been back. So by the time you're watching this video, I'll have been on that trip and back. I will have a whole story time about our trip. And so that's happening soon for me, but when you're watching this, it's already happened. And our daughter is going to be competing in a livestock judging while we're gone. So she'll be doing that in San Luis Obispo. And again, she's already back, and all of this is already over by the time you're watching this. And then what else is happening? We have pigs now. I think I've already shared that. We got pigs again. So my daughter's raising pigs for the fair. So she'll show her pigs in the fair. And what else is happening? I rug doctored my rug today. I have a throw rug in our living room, and it just gets gross because we have dogs, and I live with 2 people that refuse to take their shoes off in the house. So yeah, it just always gets filthy, and I thought I absolutely had to rug doctor it before I left on my trip. So I'm getting ready to go on this trip at the time that I'm recording this. And the reason I recorded it so far in advance is because I knew when I got back from my trip, I would probably have a little bit of jet lag and just that burnout after a vacation. Like, you need a vacation after your vacation situation. So I got this video done for you so it would be out. But right now, in real time for me, I am in the process of getting ready to leave in like 36 hours. So I'm sure I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. And it's one of the things that I bonded with my friend Kelly over at Kelly Taylor Cards. I have anxiety, travel anxiety, and medical anxiety. Those are my 2 anxieties that are the most prevalent. So the travel anxiety I have is just once I'm like on the road and there, I'm fine. But I always get really nervous leaving my family. In this case, I'll be leaving my daughter. And we do have a family member coming to stay with her, but it's just unnerving to me to leave home. I have a hard time leaving my dogs. I really miss them when I'm gone. Like, seriously, I know that sounds probably absolutely crazy to a lot of people, but my dogs are truly emotional support animals for me. I find a lot of comfort in my dogs. And so being away from them is hard for me. And yeah, so it's whenever I'm getting ready to go on a trip, I'm a little bit overwhelmed and I feel a lot of anxiety. And then once I get on the road and get in the air, I'm usually fine. And I try to always just be present and enjoy the trip I'm on. This will be the first time that me and my husband have gone anywhere together for this length of time since our honeymoon. Every time we've gone anywhere, we take my daughter. We went on our 15th wedding anniversary. We went to Pismo Beach, but it was just for like 3 or 4 days. We weren't gone for like a week or whatever. So this trip, we will have been gone for a whole week. And we decided not to take her. We are just going by ourselves. And I'm really, really excited to spend time with him alone and just have that reconnection. One of the things, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in future videos, but one of the things I know I've heard a lot of people say who have been married for a long time and raised kids is that it can kind of be like you don't know the person anymore when your child leaves the nest. And I really don't want that for us. I want us to feel very comfortable with each other. And I think going on some trips alone together and spending some time, quality time together, is going to be very beneficial for us. So we're going to do that. And these are the finished tags. So I can't wait. By the time you see this video, we'll be back from our trip, like I said, but I can't wait to talk to you about it and tell you how it went and all the fun things we did. I'm going to try to grab some footage of the trip while we're there just so you guys can see what we did, but I don't know for sure if that'll even happen. So that's it. There's the cards. If you want any of the items that I used today, there's a link below the video that says measurements and supplies. Click that link. It'll take you to my blog and it has my full supply list there. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.